Dawn, any good luck charms back there a few minutes ago? 4-leaf clovers, rabbit's feet, anything? How did you watch it? How did it go down?
No, we just watched it in the locker room, and I mean, it was kind of exciting. It was kind of exciting, and the build-up was good. You know, I know when you're part of, you know, the equation, it doesn't feel good to have your fate in a coin toss, and I didn't know that 8 other sports use a coin flip. I keep saying toss. That was news to me. I feel a little better about it now.
Coach, in your last 3 meetings, you and your teams have pretty much blown out Kentucky. Can you talk about how Coach Brooks has kind of changed the program and their success?
He's got a really talented squad. Like, they got chemistry, they work well together, and they got a really good point guard. When you got a point guard that can distribute the basketball, that can create her own shot, that can knock down threes, that can read defenses. I mean, she puts people in great positions to just have to make a basket. And when you have a leader like that, it's going to give you opportunities to win and win a lot of basketball games. So super happy for Kenny and for making our league a better league, because it's not easy. Like, it's not easy at all, and it's only getting harder and harder to win basketball games in our league.
On this side, Lulu, and then Alan, and then Steve.
Could you talk a little bit about what Tessa did for you guys today, and especially she's been vocal with us about how when she's not shooting well, she's kind of telling herself some maybe negative stuff. You've talked about that as well, I guess, just having that game that she had today and then what it means, obviously, specifically against Kentucky.
I mean, you could tell Tessa's been ramping up to the point of, you know, of having a performance like tonight. Yeah, I thought she played well for us at Ole Miss. Good shots that didn't go in, but they were good-looking shots that was in rhythm and in flow. And I know we're talking about her points, and we needed her points. Her defense was on point. Like, she actually played more the way we needed to play her, like the discipline it took for the way that we needed to play her, because we didn't get it in third quarter. You know, we made adjustments at halftime that we couldn't quite execute. And then when we put Tessa in the game, I think her defense as well as Lay's defense really just gave us a boost. And I actually wasn't planning on playing them the rest of the quarter, but they were doing so well that on both sides of the basketball, we just let them finish the game.
Going right to that, Kentucky cut it to 1 with about 6 minutes to go. You guys forced 7 turnovers the rest of the way. What exactly changed defensively to get you guys over the finish line after they made a run?
I thought I think Lay scored an easy bucket, you know, driving the baseline. That gave us a 3-point lead. And I think that sparked us a little bit. It's unfortunate that offense is sparking our defense. But the lock-in by Tessa, like the deflections. And I told Powell that first time in her career that she had more steals than threes. Joke, y'all. But it's facts. It's facts. So Powell was in the passing lanes. Lay was in the passing lanes. We dove on the ball, got tie-ups after tie-ups, and we just made it difficult. I thought when we got Amore going more right than, left, that created better rotations for us. And I thought we did a good job at capitalizing on our defense.
Hey, Don, Steve Reed from the AP. I'm just curious, you've been through these SEC tournaments. Is this the most competitive tournament that you are going to enter, and what do you guys have to do to win this?
Yeah. By far, the toughest. What do we need to do? We got depth. You need depth in this tournament to win this tournament. You need to take care of the basketball. You need to rebound, and you need to take good shots. I think those are those are things that we have to be very disciplined, and other teams have to be very disciplined in doing those things in order for you to get through this tournament, even to reach Sunday. So, I mean, our players are familiar with the tournament and with having success in the tournament, but that actually goes down the drain. It starts over, it starts anew, because we have two teams, that we didn't have to deal with last year, and that's Texas and Oklahoma, that have an impact on the outcome of the regular season and now the tournament.
In the back, Chaz, and then Matt.
Coach, you didn't hesitate earlier this week to call this the most successful recruiting class. What did it mean to send them out like you did today as a SEC champ once again?
I mean, they have formed a bond and a great friendship that created great chemistry and wins. To hear the crowd pour into our players, and specifically our seniors, the way that they did, means that there's a really great relationship between the two. Like, we can't win without having our fans create this atmosphere, and we can't win without having talented players who are committed to the process. So for them to go out in front of them with an SEC regular season championship on the line means it's only fitting that they go out as winners here on this floor. So, I mean, kudos to them. We got a lot of basketball left. Don't want to get sentimental right now, but they have been truly remarkable for our program. I hope that Lay and Tessa's class can outdo them, because that means that's pretty special. But for right now, Raven, Breezy, and Fagan, are three of the best that have ever worn a Gamecocks uniform.
Same in the back with Matt.
March is always about performing in the biggest moments. How much of the last 6 to 7 minutes of this game is really going to prepare your team and give them confidence for what it's to come in the next few weeks?
Well, I think it's going to be great. I know that I think Tessa and Lay were in at the end of the game, and most of the time they're not in the basketball games, but it's going to help them. It's going to help us. I mean, there was a lot of trust that was built out there the last 7 minutes, the last quarter that they were on the floor. So I think it's going to sharpen us. I think it's going to sharpen us to the point where we got options to play them in late game situations, because they just performed on both sides of the basketball, and they were really masterful when it comes to just being disciplined and predictable.
Sorry, on the left, Michael.
Dawn, Raven got some one more year chance there during the senior day ceremonies. I'm curious, just one, what was your thought on that? And two, how do you she mentioned that she hadn't made a decision on her future. How do you kind of console her through that decision-making process here in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, classy touch by the fams. Classy. She hasn't made a decision, and for me it's a personal choice. So I'm not gonna push her either way. I'm just gonna let her and her family decide what they want to do. Obviously, Raven makes us a better basketball team. Okay, Raven's a winner. She comes back, it increases our chances of winning a lot more basketball games. If she doesn't, I'm sure the WNBA will welcome her, probably not as well as we would if she came back. But Raven's going to be a pro, whether it's coming out this year or coming out next year. We're going to let her and her family decide which way she wants to go.
Elijah, did you have a question? Yes. Elijah and then Dave will close it out.
Coach, obviously the defense was great. Then the final stretch, but you got a lot of really clutch buckets as well. And on a team with so many scoring options and where anyone can really kind of take over late in the game, what's kind of that thought process of trying to get, I guess, those buckets whenever Kentucky starts making that run?
Yeah, when we needed a bucket, I wanted the ball in Powell's hands to be the decision maker. So we ran some plays specifically for her. And then once Powell decided that, she wanted to run something else, I thought it was a great call. Well, she made a call for Lay, and that's when Lay got the layup. When we were up by just one point, Lay got the bucket. So I think Powell has really good feel for and a pulse for what's needed out there. We leaned on her leadership and her ability to play make and make big plays.
Don, you talked about Raven. Sakima can also come back next year. Have y'all had those discussions? Has she made up her mind?
Have not. Like I haven't. Hopefully they'll make a decision in a timely fashion that we'll know what we need when the transfer portal opens up, and we can concentrate on that. There's room for both of them to return, but we're gonna let them decide, on their own accord. I'm not gonna pressure them to do it. It's just if they come back and we've already been in the portal, we just gonna have a lot more on the roster than probably we would like.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.